afternoon, teacher.
Girls, we parted last time when we were looking at the Luo. We've so far, do we see something on the screen?
Not yet.
No.
Okay, we shall fix them.
No, teacher.
Just a minute, yeah.
Teacher, it is still showing screen sharing.
So we said our topic is the Luo. We've looked at the introduction and we've seen the reasons why they left their homeland. By now, all of us should be knowing where the Luo came from. And we also mentioned another name for the Luo. We said they are called the River Lake Nilotes. And we gave the reason for that naming. So we looked at the reasons why they came into Uganda. Then we also began on the course of the Luo. When we study the course, we look at how a particular group moved, where they passed, and where they finally settled. Do we see anything on the screen?
No.
No.
Okay.
Not yet. Teacher, it is still showing screen sharing.
All right, so we are continuing to look at where the Luo passed and where they settled. But before we share the screen, as we plan to do that, let's ask the girls. Girls, get set. I sent work in the Google Classroom, and the instructions were you list the places, you use the map with the arrows to list the places where the Luo passed. And then you also use the map with the dots to list the places where the Luo settled. Do we see something on the screen?
No, teacher.
Are you able?
Not
Teacher,
yet.
not
Eh? But
No.
it's not yet there, teacher.
Okay, but let's first start with what we had in the Google Classroom. So now, girls, we are supposed to share answers on where the Luo passed in East Africa. But for convenience of our study, we are going to break this into two. We are going to look at the Luo in Uganda first, and then we also look at the Luo in Kenya. Now, girls,
Please, can girls mute their microphones, please? Can I have Nachinto Amaris? Oh, Nachinto and Amaris mute their microphones. Yeah. Good. Thank you, teacher. Continue.
is it possible to see anything on the screen?
Yes, teacher.
What are you seeing? Is there anything you're seeing?
Yes.
We are saying, but you have.
Okay, it's coming. It's coming. We can about. Yeah, there's something you're sharing.
What is it that you see?
We see the River Lake Nilotes, the Luo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, so let's leave that on the screen and then we answer a few questions. What the girls should share with us what they wrote in their class notebooks, Because I made instruction that they get the answers and write in their class, in their notebooks. So girls, can you raise your hands up? Teacher will choose on you, and then you tell us the different places where, using the map, where the Luo passed.
I have a Christabel. Your hand is up. Do you have something to say?
The River Lake Nilotes was the predominant in that Brazil in South Sudan moved along the river Nile and entered East Africa.
In the interest of time, please, you lower your hands if you have nothing to say. Only
Barbara,
raise it if you're responding.
I request Abasa to mute her camera. Good. Nantale, can you please mute your microphone? As we have our D4 round.
I think Bungu. Teacher, can you hear me?
Yes.
Please speak up. We can't hear you properly.
Teacher, I said Bungu.
Okay, but you mentioned more than one place at least. I trust I had 4 you can give more than one place where they passed. One of them is Pubungu, good. Award 4, do you have more than that?
No?
Okay.
Then lower your
Another
hand.
person?
Ayevare Christabel. Ayevare, your hand is up. Did you forget your hand up? Okay, let's have Appeal Grace.
They pass Mimule.
Okay, another name?
Yeah, that's the only one I know.
Thank you. Another person?
Ayevare Christabel. Hello, Ayevare. Ayevare, did you just forget your hand up or you want to give the answer? Nantegena Bira, give us the answer. We seem not to be having, okay, our D4's hand is also up. Our D4,
Okay,
give us
teacher,
the answer.
I'm not sure about this answer, but can you say the Babito dynasty?
Thank you very much. That is Bunyoro. Thank you. They passed
Another
via Bunyoro. Thank you.
person.
Girls, does it mean you didn't do that activity at all?
There is Charity Shalom. Shalom Walube, give us the answer.
I'm trying. Is it okay if you say they pass through Teso in eastern Uganda in
Thank you very
districts like
much.
Mbale and Tororo?
Very great. Thank you for that contribution.
Yes, please. Kahuga Charity.
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes, please.
Is it right if you say they passed through Acholi, the ones who were going to Kenya?
Yes, Teacher Beatrice. There seems to be a problem with Teacher Beatrice. Her microphone, she has lost her microphone. Eh? Can we shall give collective answers at once. Can we get some other person? I see some hand up. Nalule?
Peru. I know that spelling, but I don't know how to say it. It's P-A-W-I-R.
Pawir.
Yes. Is it correct?
The word is, yes, it is. Yes, I see Kahuga. Kahuga, please.
Sure. What about they passed via River Aswa?
Where is Aswa on the map? Okay, yeah. I can see
So
it.
it is in the northern part of
Oh, yeah.
Uganda.
Yes, I can see River
So like, is
Aswa.
it right to say that the ones who were going, the Luo people who were going to Kenya passed via River Aswa?
Yeah, on their way southwards, as you can see the arrows, right? After River Aswa, then Acholi downwards, right? That's what the map says. Yes. Do you want to say something, Charity? Hello, Charity.
So
Your
I
hand is
just
up.
left my hand.
Oh, you forgot. Okay. Mhm.
Hello, I got lost.
Welcome back.
Teacher, I'm back.
Yeah. But the microphone, I hand over the microphone back to you.
How far had you moved?
We are still answering your question.
The different places where the Luo passed?
Yes. They mentioned the Pawir, then they mentioned
Okay. Can we
Aswa,
now
River
list the
Aswa.
hello?
Yes, please.
Any contribution where the different places where the Luo settled?
Yeah. Maybe you could just do a recap, a summary, but before you make a summary, we have more 3 hands here. Let me pick on the girls and we see what they have. Is it okay?
No, we are not summarizing. It is the work they were given. I gave them this work to list the places where the Luo passed using a map. And then they also list the places where the Luo settled using another map. And they have those maps in the Google Classroom. So I expect answers from the girls.
We have several hands here, over 5 hands. Let me pick up on them. There's Vivian, Sandra. Sandra.
We have Gulu.
Thank you.
Yeah. Nalule Rukia.
Chapakwach.
Thank you very much.
Atukunda Vanessa.
Pader.
Great answer.
Charity Shalom.
Teacher, the eastern part of Lake Victoria in the Nyanza province.
Oh, thank you very much. Great,
Yeah.
Nyanza province.
Then there is Kahuga Charity. Have you just submitted?
Toro district.
Another area where they settled.
We still have hands up here.
Yes.
Kainoburunji Davina.
Kitgum.
Kitgum.
Thank you so much.
Edith Asio.
The Mara region in Tanzania.
The Mara.
Thank you so much.
Kahuga Charity.
Tororo district.
Thank you so much.
There is Awadi 4. Maybe then there is Narule Rukia again.
Zombo.
Zombo.
Wonderful.
Then there is Vivian Sandra. Vivian.
Eastern Uganda.
Eastern Uganda.
Okay.
Then Davina.
Omoro.
Omoro. Teacher Beatrice, are you noting down?
Let's move on. We appreciate those answers.
Yeah, we had more 3 hands up here. There is Chirabo Hope.
The Nyanza province in Kenya.
And finally, Kahuga Charity.
Padel.
Padel, yeah. I think Teacher Beatrice, we move on. Please mute your microphones.
Okay. For one reason, when I got lost, the host has has actually disabled me. I can't share my screen. I am not the host now. I can't share the screen. Otherwise, the next activity was to look at how the Luo moved and where they settled in Uganda.
Kindly send it on mine and I share. Have you sent it?
Oh yes, it was there before we began.
Okay, what is the whatever? Which one exactly can I share?
The Luo in Uganda.
Okay, let me get it. Let me share.
Okay, meanwhile, teacher is helping to share that. Girls, we need to get to remember what we saw in the map. I sent you those 2 maps for you to go ahead. Okay, we've been given the enablement to share. So Teacher Sally, you can stop. I can now share.
Okay, it's okay.
Teacher Sally?
Yes, please.
Okay. I've been given the enablement now.
Yeah,
So
let
the
me
girls,
control the class.
let's set ourselves to see what we have. And we are going to use the information which we did in our notebooks to cover it up with what we have on the screen so that we fully explain the course of the Luo. So girls, here we go. Do you see something on the screen?
Yes, please.
Yes, teacher.
Yes.
What do you see?
The river lake.
Teacher, what do you see?
The river Lake Nilotes, the Luo.
Okay, thank you very much. And thank you so much, host, for giving me enablement once again. So we are looking at how the Luo moved. And when we look at the course of a group, we've said we must know where they passed and where migration and settlement into 2 sections.
Please, can
Angel
mute
the section of the Luo?
Excuse me, can we have Mugaga and then Angel mute their microphones?
Girls, can we have some discipline in the house, please? You are reminded of Zoom etiquette. Please keep your mics off until you are requested to do so. Our time has so far been spent and we must move. So we've said we are looking at the course of the Luo migration into East Africa, and we are going to divide this into 2. We look at the Luo in Uganda, and then we look at the Luo in Kenya and Tanzania. But first we start with Uganda. So on the screen we have this information and we are going to request volunteers to read. And a volunteer will read a section, we explain it, and then we go to another section. A section is in terms of a paragraph. So can we have a volunteer reading paragraph 1 and paragraph 2? Teacher, choose one person to read for us the introduction and the first paragraph of Luo in Uganda. Hello, Teacher Sally? Have we lost you?
Katsime, please read for us the introductory part.
The River Lake Nilotes, in brackets Luo. The River Lake Nilotes left their cradle land in Bahel Gazelle in South Sudan, moved along the River Nile and entered East Africa through the northern part of Uganda and around Nimule, the Luo in Uganda.
Oh no, okay, thank you. Let's have some other person to read for us. Katsime, thank you very much. Can we have Adeke Faith to read the first paragraph? The next paragraph, sorry. Adeke.
Okay. The Luo in Uganda. Yes, the Luo in Uganda. The River Lake Nilotes, while in Uganda, moved southwards, led by Olum, and settled at a place called Pubungu or Vungu, in the present-day Paukwash district in West Nile region. Some of Olum's sons included Jipir, also known as Nipir, Tiful, and Labong. Due to internal conflict, the Luo dispersed from Pubungu in different directions.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
Now, the question to the girls is, can we name you should be able to name the leader of the Luo in Uganda.
Name the leader. Teacher, come again.
Would like to name the leader of the Luo in Uganda, the leader of the people.
Olum.
Thank you very much. We also would like to name a place where they settled first when they entered Uganda. Please note these things in your notebook.
They can also check with the chat. Those questions are there on the chat.
Let's first, okay. So in the first paragraph, we want to know where the Luo settled when they entered Uganda. The place is?
Kungu, now known as
Pakwach. Which district?
Pakwach district.
Pakwach. Thank you. Okay, we also have to name some of the sons of Olum. Please write them in your notebook. One volunteer to tell us the three names we see.
Jipir, Tifu, and Labong.
Thank you. Now, when you see in bracket Nipir, it is also, it is the same way they call Gipir, but these are a group of Alur who live in Zombo. Those who live in Zombo call Gipir as Nipir, but they refer to the same person. Thank you. Okay, now after that, we are going to see, we want to know where the different groups went. Can we now get a volunteer to read a third paragraph?
Show me.
Yeah, can we have Edith Asio?
Jipir and Tiful moved westwards from Pubungu, mixed with the Sudanic Madi, Okebo, and Ledu. Jipir's descendants came Lendu. Jipir's descendants came to be referred to as the Alur. The Alur occupied the districts of Zombo, Nebi, Pakwach, and parts of Arua. Jipir's descendants, in brackets Alur, who remained at Pubungu, referred to themselves as the Jonam, meaning people of the lake, in brackets lake or river. Some
read
of
it well. Read that clearly.
Jipil's descendants, in brackets Alur, who remained at Pubungu, referred to themselves as the Jonam, meaning people of the water. Meaning people of the water, lake or river. Some of the Alur migrated and settled in eastern Congo around Lake Albert.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, girls, according to what we have, is that the Luo moved from South Sudan entered Uganda, led by a person called Olum, as we have seen. They settled at a place called Pubungu. In your primary study, you learnt of a story between Labong and the Gipir, the spear and the bead. So those internal differences made the Luo to separate, and different groups moved in different directions, settled in different places of East Africa. Now we are looking at the first group to move out of Pubungu. So the first group was led by Gipir and Tifur, who moved westwards from Pubungu. But we should be able to note that not every Luo left Pubungu, just a section moved away, led by their grandparent called Gipir and another brother called Tifur. A simple question is, can the girls name the districts where the Alur occupy today? One person should name all of them. Teacher Sally?
Yes, please.
Get a volunteer
Can
to
we?
name for us all the districts.
Chirabo Hope Eunice.
Zombo, Nebi, Pakwach. Yes.
And we also have some Alur found in Arua. Now, girls, there is something which is of controversy. We are not going to solve it here. It's for the people of Alur land. There is a group called Jonam. They are also Alur, but they distinguish themselves from the Jonam. From the Alur. They wouldn't want to be addressed as Alur. However, they are Alur, but they don't want to be called Alur. They call themselves Jonam.
Jonam.
Why? Because they live near the water. They are the people who remained in the Pubungu area. They never moved away. While all groups of the Luo moved away in other directions, for that small group which remained at Pubungu, and for your information, Pubungu is found in Pakwach district. It's not in the town, it's some village away from the town of Pakwach, but is inside the district of Pakwach. So those Alur who remained there have called themselves people of the water because they are neighboring the Nile, the Albert Nile, and they do a lot of fishing. So they call themselves the Jonam. And for information, as we speak, they would like to split themselves from the Alur of Nebi Zombo. So we move on.
Yes.
Let somebody now. We want to see another segment.
Yes.
Another group of the we want to see another group of the Luo from Pubungu where they went.
Yes.
Okay.
Should we pick someone to read?
True indeed. Our time is fast spent. Can we be a little faster?
Oh, Chirabo Pal. Chirabo Pal, Hannah, read for us.
This paragraph.
Another group known as the Patiko left Pubungu and moved to the northeast into Acholi land. One
Are we losing her?
We seem to be losing Chirabo. Chirabo, are you still there? Yeah, let's have Chebet Agatha. Chebet Agatha, read for us.
Another group known as the Patiko left Pubungu and moved to the northeast into Acholi land. One group of the River Lake Nilotes, which had broken away from Anuak, entered Acholi from the direction of Lafoning Hill. They occupied Acholi and Kadola.
Okay. Now, girls, when I sent those maps, hoping some few bothered to look at them, when you look at the cradle land of of the Luo, we find that some of the Luo from Bael Gazelle moved eastwards and they settled in a place called Anuak. So that group of the Luo is what we see in the second line here. So this paragraph is telling us that some other group left Pubungu. So the first group which left Pubungu went westwards, and that was the group of the Alur. Now the group we see again which left Pubungu moved northeastwards into Acholi. Can we give a name? Can somebody tell us the name of that group which moved northeastwards from Pubungu into Acholi?
Patiko.
Thank you very much. And today there is a place called Patiko Fort. Patiko. Thank you. Okay, let somebody read for us another, the next paragraph.
Elena, read for us.
Labong led a group of Luo from Pubungu, moved southwards and crossed the Nile to Pawir or Chop in Bunyoro. This group invaded Bunyoro Chitara and led to the rise of Babito dynasty in Bunyoro and sub-dynasties in Uganda. Some of the Labong's group called the Luo Palwo moved from Bunyoro into Acholi land.
Okay, thank you so much. Now we are looking at another group that left Pubungu, and this group has a leader. The leader of this group which left Pubungu is Labong. Where did Labong's group go immediately they left Pubungu? Let somebody volunteer to explain, to tell us that.
Kwagala Louise. Kwagala. Kwagala Louise, tell us, give us the answer. Okay. Can we have Mirembe Emily? Mirembe Emily? Speak up, please.
Yes.
Don't think, don't just think, please read, it's on the screen. Let's give a fact.
Yeah. Labong, it is Pawir. Labong led a group of Luo from Pubungu, moved southwards and crossed the Nile to Pawir or Chope in Bunyoro.
Okay, can we say exactly where Labong's group went without reading those sentences?
He went to Pawir.
I don't even know.
Another trial.
Tendo Tamali. Tendo Tamali.
Teacher, I wanted to read the paragraph.
Not reading, we are answering the question now. Where did Labong's group go from Pubungu?
Appeal Grace. Appeal Grace.
We can't get her.
Nakanwaji Gloria, what are you saying? Can you give us the answer? Oh, Charity Shalom, give us the answer.
Teacher, Pawir in Bunyoro.
They went to Bunyoro. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And when they reached Bunyoro, what did they do?
Yes.
What did Labong's group do when they entered Bunyoro?
Ndagano Queen Esther.
They invaded Bunyoro Kitara and led to the rise of the Babito dynasty in Bunyoro.
Thank you very much. Great
and
girl.
Clap for you. Yeah, good.
Thank you for being awake. That's great. So we are still working up with that paragraph. We would like to know, can I ask Mr. Sally to make a comment on Labong's group as they moved into Acholi?
Labong's group, they moved into Achol. I think the girls have there is a group that was called the Patiko, right? Patiko
No, we are
group.
saying this one of Labong, this last part.
Oh.
When they went, okay, let's continue this way.
When
in Bunyoro, Labong's group again moved away from Bunyoro and went into Acholi land. So that is the last part of the sentence, girls. That paragraph of Labong. So one thing is that Labong moved from Pubungu southwards into Bunyoro. He found a kingdom called Bunyoro Chitara. They invaded that kingdom. It was already a weak one, invaded it. And then they took over leadership and established what we call the Babito dynasty. Then Labong's group did not completely stay or permanently stay in Bunyoro. They decided to move away, crossed the Nile, went and entered Acholi land. And that group which came from Bunyoro is called Luo Paluo. I hope we are able to see that, girls, in this paragraph. Hello, girls? Okay.
Yes, teacher.
So now, yes.
Now we hear
So
you.
that's where we are. We have so far now looked at different groups. Can we now get back to what we see on the screen? How many groups of people of how many groups of the Luo settled in Acholi? We are not naming them. There is the Patiko group. Do you see that? Do we see Patiko group?
Yes. Yes, teacher.
Yes.
Yes. But
Another
it
group.
says the Paluo moved from Bunyoro to Acholi land, not the Patiko.
Yeah, Paluo.
Okay. What I'm saying is this. Let me say this, girls, listen to this, is that we have seen the Luo settled in Acholi, but we want to know, where did all these groups of Acholi come from as they settled in Acholi land? Okay. If we can begin from Labong's group, some of them were called the Luo Paluo. Are we there? Then we also have another group which came from Anuak. It also settled in Acholi. And then the Patiko group also settled in Acholi. Can I have one person to name for us the different groups of the Luo that settled in Acholi? And they should be 3.
Oh, Vivian, Sandra.
We have the Paluo,
Yes.
The Patiko.
Thank you.
Please, Vivian Sandra has been made a co-host who, I don't know, maybe Bruno could help us and remove those rights from Vivian and Sandra. She's not a teacher. Given the co-host to a student.
She used to help to screen share in the entrepreneurship lesson, so they would make her co-host.
I am using a phone and she's helping me take the roll call, that roll call which appeared on the screen. She does it for us every day.
Okay, thank you. We didn't know that. Yeah, let's move on. So Vivian, Sandra, are you giving us the answer?
I say the Paluo,
yeah.
The Patiko.
Yes.
And the Anuak.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yes.
So those 3 different groups make up the Acholi, the Luo in Acholi land today. Right. So we are moving on. Like when you told us that the Luo are settled in Acholi land, they are settled in West Nile. Now we want to know, then you told us the Luo in Tororo. We want to follow up a group which went to Tororo. So can we have a volunteer read that paragraph?
To Haire Esther. Atuhaire Esther, Queen
Teacher,
Victoria.
I was requesting for the law that settled in Acholi. I did not hear.
No, you are
The
going
law
to
that-
read from you read from the screen from this text. Work is already in the Google Classroom. You should also be able to find out these answers.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's move on. Queen Victoria, give us the answer.
Teacher, I read the paragraph.
The last paragraph.
Okay. Another group that had remained at Pubungu later moved through Lango to the east into
Queen Victoria, you answer,
Kabaramaido.
please.
Teacher, should I read the paragraph?
Yeah, read clearly, please.
Which? Okay.
Start.
Another group that remained at Pubungu later moved through Lango to the east into Kabaramaido Peninsula. This group was joined by another Luo group from Acholi and they moved eastwards. They moved through Teso, Bagwere, Mbale, and Toro to West Budama, Bunyole, and Budola. This group constituted the Japadola who occupy present Toro.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, in this group, now we are looking at the different people of the Luo origin who settled in the eastern part of Uganda. Here is the question. Can we name the different places where the Jopadola passed? All the way from Pubungu, where else did they pass before they could reach Tororo? Hands up. Tell us. Teacher, choose.
Okay, can we have let's have Nakanwaji Gloria.
Teacher,
Nakanwaji, yeah.
they moved through Teso.
Yes.
Speak up, please. We can't hear you properly, Gloria.
They moved through Teso.
Before Teso, from Pubungu, where did they pass? Where did they pass? A little.
Lango.
Let's be fast. Can you please read what you see on the screen? And we move on.
Yeah.
Are you sure? You don't seem to be sure of what you're saying. Can somebody be consistent and tell us the different places where the Jopadola passed?
Yeah, let's
all
have
the way
Akisa
from
Abigail. Akisa Abigail, tell us.
They went through Kaberamaido.
Camera.
Kaberamaido.
Can we please be orderly? From Pubungu, where did they pass first?
They went through Lango to the east into Kaberamaido.
Yes.
And then they moved through Teso.
Yes.
Bugwere.
True.
Bugwere. Mbale.
True, that is correct. Yes.
And Tororo to West Budama.
Okay.
Bunyole and Budola.
Thank you very much. So when you're asked, how did the Jopadola come to settle in Tororo district, you should be able to announce that they moved from Pubungu through Lango, Kaberamaido, Teso, Bugwere, Mbale, Tororo, like that. Thank you very much, good girl. So that marks the end of the Luo in Uganda. Are there some questions that we should share before we move to the Luo in Kenya? Is there any question, teacher?
Please, if you don't have a question, lower your hand so that I can know people that have questions. If you don't have a question, lower your hand. Okay. There are several questions. Nakalema Nashifa, what's your question? Nakalema Nashifa, do you forget your hand up?
Our time is fast.
Atukunda Vanessa, what's your question?
Teacher, I was just asking about like the
the groups of the Luo that settled in Acholi. I don't know the person who was giving the answers, but they mentioned Anwak. And I don't understand how, because when I was reading, they said there was another group that broke off from the Anwak and then they settled in Acholi. So I don't understand how the Anwak was part of the groups that settled there.
From our text, what we shared on the screen, we saw that a group, when I referred you to the origin of the Luo in Baal Gazelle, apart from the Luo moving along the Nile, some moved upwards, the Dinka, and then others moved eastwards. They are called Anuak. So the Anuak group moved along on the other side of Uganda, entered, they didn't follow the Nile. They moved from that group, from Anuak, they moved southwards, entered Acholi through a place called Lafon Hills. So they also settled in Acholi, and they make up the group of the Luo in Acholi land. So the three different groups that make up the Acholi community, we have those called the Patiko group, the Anuak group, and the Luo Paluo group, which is Labongzi group. Thank you. Another question?
Akisa Abigail. Akisa, what's your question?
I forgot my hand up, I'm sorry.
Oh, please lower your hands. Award 4, what's your question?
Teacher, I want to make a correction.
Go ahead.
On the spelling of Bar Gazelle, teacher, they're supposed to be like, okay, that part of gazelle, there is no E there. It's supposed to be Ghazel. But teacher put it as
okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for that.
Another question.
Namagembe Majo. Namagembe? She forgot her hand. Yes.
Yes, excuse me, teacher.
Yeah.
No, teacher. I'm saying that I'm really sorry, but
Try to be louder, please.
Okay, I say that I had some electricity and internet problems, so I found you concluding the Luo in Uganda. So I didn't really get the other points which you talked about, but I just wanted to ask if you're going to send a work in Google Classroom, so I'll just go through it and try to explain to myself.
Already the work is there.
The work is already there. Thank you. Please, Akisa and Olwit, please unmute, mute your microphone. Sorry. Olwit, mute your microphone. Let's move on. Next question, Kahuga Charity.
Teacher, about the question you asked, that who is the leader of the Luo in Uganda, what was the answer given?
That answer is found in our text. We are not going to simply give these answers, but it's already in the text. Actually, work is already in the Google Classroom. And we beg you people to be attentive so that you get these things well. And you also read, because we posted this work, we are sharing it on the screen, and it's in the second paragraph, but the name is Olum. We beg you to be very attentive next time.
It's also in the chat. The name is also in the chat. So another question, please. Petra Kachogana. Petra?
Yeah, I was asking for a spelling of actually because in some books it has an H and in some books it doesn't have an H. So what is the correct one?
Now the thing is that those are different scholars. They have different views. Let's go with the one with H. Thank you.
Finally, Adeke, Faith.
I would like to ask about the people who settled in Acholi. Yes, the people who settled in Acholi, the Anuak, the Luo Paluo, and the Patiko. What is it that drew them to Acholi? Because most of them left where they were settled to go to Acholi. Was it that the people who were there were more hospitable or the conditions were better?
Yeah, where they came from, they had internal conflicts or differences. and they felt they wanted more land of freedom where they could settle, and they found themselves settling in those areas of Acholi land.
Actually, this one.
Excuse me, teacher, we are
This
not
one
hearing
takes us back.
anything.
This one, her question takes us back to the factors or the reasons for the migration and settlement of the Luo. You remember them, right? They are believed they were forced to move, that a combination of factors contributed to their migration and settlement. We don't only look at one factor, that all factors, joined together contributed to their migration and settlement elsewhere, right?
Okay, if there are no more questions, can we handle the last segment, please? Our time is fast spent.
Yeah, the last question is Nalule Rukia, is from Nalule Rukia.
Teacher, when you say that groups that have settled in actually land, you say the ones we said. Why don't you also say actually? Because if it's actually land, I think that's supposed to be, also actually.
Those are the different groups that constitute today's population in Acholi land, and the people are Acholi. Thank you, Shugi. Okay. We leave that and we look at the Luo in Kenya and Tanzania. This time we are going to be a little fast, and we need reader.
We only have 6 minutes.
Do we see anything on the screen? Are we able to share the screen? Are you seeing?
Yes.
Yes. Teacher Sally?
Yes, please. Can someone by the names Emily, Nicole read for us?
The first paragraph.
Emily, Nicole.
The Kenya Luo claim to have been the descendants of one common ancestor called Ramongi. However,
Read what you see.
The Kenya Luo claim to have been the descendants of one common ancestor called Ramogi. However, the Luo moved into Kenya in various groups like Joka Jok, Joka Owini, Joka Omolo, and Abusuba at different times.
Abasuba is the word.
And Abusuba.
Emily,
okay,
the word is Abasuba.
Let's make a correction. It is Abasuba. A-B-A, Abasuba. We shall correct that. Abasuba at different times. Okay, girls, we need to know that the Luo who still call themselves the Luo, they are closely connected to the original Luo from Bael Gazelle. And they claim that they have one ancestor who is called Ramogi. Can one person tell us the different groups of the Luo who entered Kenya? Quickly, one person to name all of them. They entered Kenya in 4 different groups.
We have 4 minutes left. Jilena, give us the 4 groups.
Joka Jok, Hawinyi, Joka Molo, and Abasuba.
Yes.
Correct.
Can we get somebody who is quick enough? Our time is gone.
Okay, she finished. She finished, but maybe for emphasis, we can have Chirabo Hope. Let's have Chirabo Hope to tell the names.
Joka Jok, Joka Jok, Joka Winnie, Joka Omulo, and the Abasuba.
Joka who? Can you please be clear?
That Joka Jok, that Joka Omwini, that Joka Omolo, and the Abasuba.
Abasuba, thank you very much. So those are the 4 different groups of the Luo who entered Kenya. We want to know, where did each group come from before they entered Kenya? So we are beginning with the first group called the Joka Jok. Can somebody read that paragraph very quickly? Where did
The Joka Jok migrated from Acholi through eastern Uganda to Ramogi Hill in Nyanza.
Can we have a Heba Cynthia?
One person do that.
I have a Cynthia,
The
please.
Joka Jok migrated from.
Yes, I have a Cynthia. Go ahead.
It's Daniela.
Daniela, go ahead, right?
The Joka Jok migrated from Acholi through eastern Uganda to Ramogi Hill in Nyanza province in eastern Kenya between 1490 and 60. What do they call it?
Okay, read the next paragraph also.
Be quick. Next paragraph.
The Joka Owin, the Joka Iwini group were led by Owini.
Can we read clearly, please? Read what you see.
Read those words away.
The Joka Owini group were led by Owini Sigoma, a famous and ruthless fighter. They moved through the western foothills of Mount Elgon, crossed Budama to Busoga, and later into Kenya to a Lagos settlement.
Yeah, thank you. Can we pick on some other person to read?
No, we are now answering this first segment quickly. The first, the Joka Jok group. Where did the Joka Joka group pass? Where did they come from before they went to Kenya?
Actually.
Thank you very much. Okay, now let's get another person to read the third paragraph of Omolo.
Dagano Queen.
The Joka Omolo group migrated from Pawil (Chop) in northern Bunyoro. They moved south of Lake Choga, crossed Busoga, and later settled in Nyanza province in the 17th century.
Okay, thank you. Where did the Jok Omolo group come from before they settled in Nyanza?
Pawil.
Pawil. In which part?
Northern Bunyoro. Northern
Bunyoro.
Okay. Guys, you should be able to remember that the group of Luo who went to northern Bunyoro, were led by Labong. He left there and crossed into Acholi land. Okay, the last group, the second last, Abasuba.
Mugaga Daniela.
Were originally.
Excuse
go
me,
ahead.
teacher.
Go ahead, Vivian.
Is it Abasuba or Abusuba?
I said Abasuba. The first one had a mistake. It's Abasuba.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So, are you reading for us?
Abasuba were originally non-Luo, a mixed group. Yes, teacher. Abasuba were originally non-Luo, a mixed group of refugees from Buganda, Busoga, and Sese Islands, but adopt Luo customs through assimilation and intermarriages. This group also moved into southern Nyanza province.
Read again the last paragraph.
The last paragraph, teacher.
Yeah, try to be audible now.
Some of the Kenyan Luo, especially the Joka Jok group, were pushed further south, settled in South Nyanza and northern Tanzania in Mara region at the shores of Lake Victoria.
Thank you very much, girls. So we now see there was a group which was originally not Luo, but they also moved into Nyanza area. They were absorbed. They took up the customs of the Luo. And then we are told that a group of the Luo settled in Mara region in Tanzania. As we speak, they're in the northern area of Tanzania around the lake. And these were part of the Joka Jok group, which moved first. Thank you very much. Our time is up. We may have some questions, I think, but our time is already up. Already this work is in the Google Classroom. I'm going to send questions which you're going to answer, and those questions will form the notes on the course of the Luo migration. These two texts are already in the Google Classroom. You will read them and answer the questions that I will send. Thank you.